Everybody, just have to restart the computer. Okay, so we were in the middle of talking about according to Alter Rebbe, and here's my personal opinion. Oh yeah, sorry. I was telling you about Rabbi Heller's Chiddush, and I'll tell you a little asmachta for his Chiddush. So when you have these,
is Chiddush or is understanding of the Alter Rebbe?
His understanding. It's not even Alter Rebbe. It's the question of, is the bunched up roof of the baby carriage like the rolled up machzelas? You know what I'm saying? That's not the Alter Rebbe. It's a general question. Rabbi Heller is one of the Rabbanim Ukrainites. So the thing is that when it comes to the ship that has like the bent, you know what I mean, like what they have over the covered wagons, you know what I mean, those hoops, and then they put the things over them. Those hoops count for an oil. And we said if they're within 3 tfachim, they count as an actual oil. Even though, I mean, what are they? I mean, they're just there to put up the thing, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, they're there as part of a roof. You know what I'm saying? They're there as part of a roof. So therefore, they're already considered to be there for protection. So the same thing here, these are part of a roof, you know what I'm saying? Even though you didn't spread it out yet, it's like those hoops, you didn't spread it out yet, but you prepared it to be there for when you need them. So they're already considered an oil. As opposed to, by the way, this is something that Tzesa Shulchan points out. Let's say you happen to have a beam that's just going across the, simple example. You have a pipe that goes from one side of the room to the other. A pipe. What's the purpose of the pipe? Water or gas or whatever it is that it's accomplishing. It happens to be a tefach. That's not an oil. You can't extend, I'm just adding to an oil. No, you can't do that because that wasn't put up for any kind of protection. So the same thing, I'm saying, whereas over here, that roof.
By the ship, by the wagon, they didn't put over there to give protection, they were to support.
To support a protection. To support a protection. So it's part of a protection kind of thing.
But there's no protection right now.
Okay, because you didn't finish it. You don't need the whole protection now, but you started a little bit of it and you're going to finish it later. So you could say, even though it's now bunched up, but it was put there for the eventual time that you'll need protection, and it's already there a little bit. It's already providing some protection there. I don't know. He's saying that if it's only bunched up, it's not rolled up, it's considered open because it's the same thing. It's just bunched up. I don't know. It's not clear to me. But anyway, here's the thing. There is a klal in halacha that we're not going to ignore a clear psak in the face of a suffix of another opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you have a machlekes a poiskin, okay. Maybe the oiser is right, maybe the matter is right. I don't know, whatever.
Doesn't allow it?
That I saw. Oh, okay, the Shulchan doesn't. But he doesn't explain himself. So it's hard to know. Did he realize that there's a stira with Hilchos Sukkah? You know what I mean?
Basically,
that's like, it's hard to understand that one.
There's a clear psak that you're allowed to.
Clear psak l'chazanish that you're allowed to.
But there's no clear psak that you're not allowed to.
I didn't come across a clear psak that is 100%. Yeah, well, yeah. The truth is I have to see Rav Moshe. He's quoted as saying it's Aser, but I couldn't find it. So
according to Alter Rebbe or just
Stam? Stam.
According to the Ashkenazi.
Yeah.
But any
Exactly.
issue is going to be from the Rabbanan. The one going to say Aser. Nobody holding there will be issue.
Yeah. No, the rise for sure. El Kavua is der Aser. El Rai is der Rabban. All right, my friends.
So that's why the Rebbe is saying.
That's my thought. That's my thought at this point. But the truth is, I should really find Rav Moshe, track it down. Okay. So let's discuss that. So according to the Chazon Ish, just like it works if it's a If it's a roof that's attached to the stroller, the same thing with an umbrella attached to the stroller. Because what's the difference? It's already part of something else. You know what I'm saying? An umbrella that's on its own is different. Like the Night Buddha says, you're creating the whole thing. Here it's attached to a stroller.
But it should be attached
Before Shabbos. Yeah, before Shabbos,
Right.
definitely.
The other part, it's more common in solar umbrella tracks. You don't see it very common, so you might find.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
That's what they pass. The Shmer Shabbos says that. However, what about? And this is a practical shaila. A picnic table with an umbrella.
Sitting outside in the quick idea.
Exactly.
Did the Rebbe just say about the stroller and the umbrella?
Yeah.
First of all, what do you mean a stroller umbrella? Is an umbrella on a stroller?
Attached to a stroller.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay. And the Rabbi said it was.
Shmir Shabbos says that it's mutter based on the Chazon Ish. Same idea.
The umbrella.
Yeah. No, with the roof of a. It's the roof of the baby carriage. Whether it's shaped like an umbrella or it's shaped like a roof, what's the difference? All the heterim apply to the roof of the baby carriage. So, your mic is not working. What does that mean, Yossi? Can you hear me or you can't hear me? Can't answer. Okay, you can type it in if you like. So, here's the thing. What about a picnic table with an umbrella? So, on the one hand, you could say that according to Chazon Ish, it should be mutter, because it's already attached to something. So it's already bottled to that thing. It's already nullified to that thing. It's like a door. But on the other hand, it's not so clear.
But it's not that something that you have. It's all something that you're moving to, like you're using it. I think this one's more like permanent outside the city.
Right. There's also another reason to be strict. Because the stroller has already some kind of wall. So it's easier to say that it's yes, it's differentiating a permanent umbrella when you can take off. I mean, the umbrella is there permanently, but it's not open permanently. It's not open permanently. So you open and close it. But here's the thing. When you're opening it, as part of a stroller, so it is adding protection to something that already has some protection. You know what I'm saying? When you're opening on top of a thing, it is more similar to an umbrella that you're opening stem to carry, because there is no protection there at all. You know what I'm saying? You're creating the entire protection. Okay, you're adding it to a table, but you're not adding it to walls. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really the same as the sukkah, where it's like a door to the sukkah. And also in the baby carriage, you have some protection. You're adding more protection. It's not so clear.
But even the big umbrella,
Yeah.
when it's closed, it's more than a third one. Like it's bunched together in the tight.
No. When it's closed, it's closed. It's usually
You
closed.
have it's pretty wide, so you can say that there's
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. When it's closed, it's actually closed. They have eyes.
Without the rope around it. It just goes down.
I don't know.
So are you going to be able to open because there's like a jump off?
I don't know. I don't think so.
So I'm sorry, because that wasn't the regular umbrella?
So
The regular umbrella was a schedule to be in the house. The place the oil station like in ways.
No, there was a thing that says, has walls, has a roof wall.
no, the Buddha says it's not allowed, a regular umbrella.
Umbrella, they said something?
Yeah, some of them still like that. Some. Maybe they have some.
But Rashi was so full of
Maybe they have them on fly, like,
Okay, so here's the thing. In the pnim of the Shmir Shabbos, he's materit.
Okay, what?
The umbrella
For the patio?
for the patio, exactly. Aber shimshis gino shetkua bekarka ben boydyoim oischocha markiza. What's a markiza?
Markiza is a big umbrella.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be at the house.
Very good. Shme'al gezustro or me'al chaloin ra'ava.
Like in the store, you have like the front window.
Oh, the front window.
Yeah.
Mutter lepoism lekaplan. Mutter. That's it. However, in the bottom, he says not so pashut. In the bottom, in the ha'aras, he says that shamati magoshaz erbach. Afshachas nishmatu lasis kein. Tzorich ian im gamba mechuba lekarka mutter lasis legamri as kol ha'oil mitchila va'at soif. Beglal heker shal tzira. Here you're making the whole oil from beginning to end. And actually, Yossi's right. He is differentiating between connected to the ground or not. It's connected to the ground. So in general, that's more strict. Right?
What does that mean, connected to the ground?
I'm saying it's in the case of the thing, it's connected to a picnic table, which is either mamish connected or it's so heavy that it's considered connected. So we're more strict in that sense of binyan. But he's also saying that you're creating the entire oil, meaning to say the walls and the roof at that time. And he says, for example, would you be allowed to open, let's say you had a house, that you could fold up could fold the walls, fold the roof, and stack it all in.
Truck. They're going to the field and they open one TV like a two-floor house.
Exactly. If you had that house, okay, that house is different because you unload it and you put it up. But I'm saying if you make it in such a way that you could fold up the house and it's still attached where it's attached, but then you unfold it and you make a house. You can imagine such a thing. Maybe not a big, two-story house, but maybe a simple thing. He says big suffix if you can do that, because you're actually creating a new oil just because it's attached already. You're creating a new oil and one that's attached to the ground. He's not so sure about it.
On the same concept as that.
That's pop-up sukkah, exactly. Pop-up sukkah.
Can you take a box, when it's flat, and just put it together and close it up and bottom and put something inside? Cardboard box. So basically, it's flat now, creating like the same concept of the house. It's all full, but now I'm creating. Are we allowed to? Just to put some toys inside. I don't know. Whatever it is.
Close up a box, you said?
They do make such a house, yes, he says. It's a kid house. A kid house. Okay?
Huh?
Yeah, but we're talking about a house that is basically, no, if you use a drill, it wouldn't be allowed to for sure. It would have to be something that you could just, you could just, swing it out and like snap it into place without any drill or any equipment. If you need equipment, then it's obviously binding. No question about it. But it has to already be attached to the ground because you can't attach something on Shabbos. And you just have to be able to unfold it and snap it into place. Actually, speaking of that, the Third Malachas book questions whether you're allowed to open up the partitions in rooms. You know how a lot of shuls have partitions, like here, exactly like here, where you have, the sanctuaries open up all the way for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and the rest of the year, the back of it is partitioned off. Those partitions, they're built into the building. So you don't have to actually put them into place, but you have to slide them, and then you have to snap them, and they're tight once you snap them in place. So he's
Rabbi, you just open it and it's and close it.
No. At the end, you have to snap them to make sure that they don't move.
It
folds up.
No, I'm talking about when you open it.
No. I saw in Young Israel, it's like this. It's like this, and go like this. That's it.
I don't think
No
so.
slap up.
These are
No,
big,
no,
these
no,
are over
no,
here.
no
These are
slap
all the way
up.
to the end of the room.
I don't think so.
Slap up.
I don't think so.
Here.
Can we go over there and check it?
You can if you want.
It's not slap up. Just fold like this, that's it.
Okay.
And it's
I
open.
don't know. I have to pay attention next time to when they open it. But at least the way he describes it, or maybe there are different types, and if it doesn't snap, it's not a shaila. But the way he describes it, it's a
Because it
shaila.
gets locked in open position. They're gonna get-
No, they want it to be locked in a closed position. In a closed
זה
position.
גומיות כאלו, שזה גומיות שמתחברות ככה, זה הטור. No, it's like
לא,
a rubber.
זה יכול להיות דלתות גדולות, ויש לק שזה לא יתקפל חזרה, שזה יישאר פלאט.
אני עזרתי בשמחת תורה.
Okay, he says many movable walls are designed to be anchored. A special tool is provided to be used for turning a large bolt at the end of each panel. After this adjustment, the heavy panel rests its full weight against the floor. Okay, so it depends. Some of them have it, some of them don't.
No need tools, don't need anything, just.
Yeah, if it does, if you don't need anything, he says it's mutter. Okay, the box.
What box? Remind me, I forgot about what box is.
Okay, Yossi's asking about a pop-up house. You have pop-up sukkahs, a pop-up house, requiring no machinery, labor, or foundation. 10 folds buildings unfurl like an accordion just under 10 minutes and just as easily fold back in on itself, easily for transport on a truck bed. All that's required is a handheld battery-powered drill, which is obviously not allowed. It's worth looking at. In theory, you could just do this manually. Check out the video. New class, allowed or not allowed? I'll get back to your box in a minute. Allowed or not allowed? House, pop-up house. No question, but according to everybody. Auerbach is saying that even though it's already attached in place,
Here it's not attached.
exactly, that's the problem. If it's not attached anywhere and you're just unfolding it to create it, there's no question that's not allowed.
But today, they have a tent, you throw it and it's coming up.
Ta-da!
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's all the all
Not allowed.
it's- yeah.
Not allowed, not
Not
allowed,
allowed?
not allowed. Not allowed. Okay, so no, what about the box? Rabbi say.
What about any storage bin?
Tell me more about the box.
Storage bin, you don't create the bin. He's asking a folded cardboard box. You have it right there behind you. Right there, folded box.
We said that if it has walls, you just have a roof, that's okay?
Yeah, but here it doesn't have walls.
No.
Oh, no, it's not. Okay, fine. Forget it. Thank you.
You can slip in.
A folded cardboard box that you unfold.
Like this one here?
Exactly. Problem or not a problem?
I will say yes problem because you bonnet.
Bonnet, Bemet?
Because you have to close it one to each other, like.
Yossi says it's not making a shelter. Okay, well, you're not making it for the sake of a shelter, but you are creating walls and a roof, right? And you'll have an oil in the middle with a tefach empty, and you need the space in the middle because you want to put things there. So it seems like a problem. It's not for the sake of an oil, right? So it's a sort of thing that you would be allowed to do in theory by doing the roof first and then the walls. Obviously, you can't do that here because it's all attached. So yeah, I think it's a problem. I think it's a problem. It seems to be a problem. All right. So, Yossi says, you want the thing open roof to put upside down? No, but right way up as a container. Yeah, if you're not going to close the roof, it's okay. Actually, if you're not going to close the roof, it's okay. You're going to leave the roof open on Shabbos, the box, leave it open. So then you can make walls. You can make walls. And it's not a permanent binyan at all, right? You're not taping it, you're just putting it. That's
What's
it.
the reason
To put a
you,
roof on something is not a problem? To put a roof on, let's say, a bin.
Sure. Put a roof on a bin is the discussion at the very end of this, my friends. Here we go. We'll start with Yud Beis. Anoit the Perechus Yud Beis. No, Yud Beis. Anoit the Perechus of a person who wants to set out a Perechus or something similar. So he has to make sure that he does not make an oil as he puts it up. We need to say, like we said, when you put it up, you have to make sure it's not making any kind of protection, just a machitza.
so if it's dropped like this, it's like you didn't wait.
Exactly. You have to keep it straight. If it's a big parachas, so you need to make sure that you're not creating an oil. So you should use two people so that you could pull it over the pole without creating any kind of tefach underneath there. Just keep it level and over, straight down.
But if it's big and heavy, it's already down accordion.
Down is okay.
So
Mechitza is okay. You can't create a. You can't
pick it up. You pick it up straight.
That's fine.
So wherever it's in the floor, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
So what kind of process? Like, do you have to put the hooks on the poles, or you have to? How is it?
My understanding is that you want to put it over the pole,
Like
and the pole does not have a tefach, and you want it to come down the other side, and it'll just be a mechitza. Now, but because it's sometimes you're going to end up spreading it more than a tefach, and after all, you do want it as a mechitza. So the intention of creating a mechitza plus an actual tefach of oil is going to be a problem.
But just holding it up.
Yeah, even just holding it up.
So you know what? So what I'm going to say, like when you pick up the tile and you take it above your head, it's not like it's going to be the same concept. And you said this is okay because it's soft material. It's not a problem too, as if your tile is above your head sticking out. Wasn't a tefa because it's soft. What about like
So
it's going to be?
So the Dirshu actually asks your question. First of all, whenever you're holding it in your hand, it can't be an oil, just like the talus that you put over your face. Chazanish. Second of all, no, umbrella has some strength to it. Here, it's just a talus. It's just like nothing. It's like a talus. It has no substance to it. Nothing's holding it in place. Just flipping around. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to hold your talus over your head because that's being held in place by your hands. So it has no permanence whatsoever.
If I drop my umbrella, it's not going to stay there.
Yeah, but it is held in its place. It's a fixed, rigid thing. You know what I mean?
That's why
It's like the hat. Like the hat, if you take your head away, it's going to fall. But the hat itself is rigid. Here, it has no form of its own. Its form is only being given by the fact that you're holding it.
That's why the Saudi doesn't take the seats all the way down. It's like tefach.
That's not why. That's not why.
Okay, so what the answer?
He doesn't answer. He doesn't answer. Another question he asks is that it's an oil below mechitzas, she'eina nasis l'tzeil. You're not intending to make it for sale. I don't know why he says no mechitzas. Okay.
I don't know.
Chazanish didn't know, so I don't know. If he didn't know and I don't know, it's not so bad. Okay. So, Leficha Berza, Avalech Aser. The Moise Kila, Shesh Lagag, in Moise Safila Asara. If it was a kila that has a rim around it, we discussed this already before, you can't put it up even 10 people together. It's impossible that it's not going to become bunched up as you put it over the top of the bed, and it'll create a tefach space, and that's a problem. I mean, the same question of Some of the Chazanish applies there too, but that's what we said. It's a very difficult thing to understand. Okay, Yud Gimel. Beged sheshotrin al.
Could you go over that last sentence there of the that you did? Behu shelo what? Imaisa Kila, if you had the curtain.
About the Kila? So I'll explain it to you the way I understand it from the Alter Rebbe and the Magen Avraham, although it is difficult at the end of the day anyway. That we're talking about a Kila, so it's like a protective curtain around a bed. And we're talking about you want it to fit on top of an existing protective roof over the bed. There's an existing protective roof, and you want this Kila to hang down from that roof. So it has curtains that are going to go on all four sides, and it has a flat top, and it also has a rim that will hold the flat top in place. So it'll fit exactly. It's like a fitted sheet. It'll fit exactly over that roof, and then all of the curtains will hang down the side. The problem is, as you bring it up over that roof, because it has that rim around it, so you're not going to be able to bring it up smoothly. It's definitely going to bunch up, and it's going to create a tefach space underneath it that is going to be a temporary kind of oil, and is therefore a problem.
Have like a roll, one person on each side, and roll it up.
No, the problem is it's not flat because you have that rim, so it's not going to be flat. So you can't just unroll it; it's going to be bunched up. Again, this is difficult to understand. The same question of Chazanish applies over here. It's not firm. You're not intending for any kind of protection there. Difficult one. I don't know. I didn't really understand it 4 years ago, and maybe in 4 years from now I'll get it. Beged sheshoitchen al pi hachaves Yud Gimel. A garment that is spread out over a barrel. The chas is to cover the barrel. Lo yishtechenu al pnei kulim mishum oil. You should not cover the entire barrel because you're going to be creating an oil. The walls of the barrel are the walls, and the beged is the roof. You should leave some of it uncovered, right? Because that way you don't have a complete oil. Right?
Why beged is going to be a problem and just the lid on the barrel will be a problem?
The lid of Shlomo Zalman says is mutter because it's the thing that belongs there, so it doesn't look like looks like it's part of it.
You lost the actual lid, and now you're using a material to cover the barrel.
That could be a problem. Maybe if you designate it, maybe it's mutter, but if you don't designate it, that's a problem because you're creating a roof. Now the truth is, the obvious shaila on this is that the walls already exist. And when you create a roof that is not for shade, and you're not creating the walls, we said before, it's no problem.
For protection, also.
Not for protection.
So it's inside.
No, it's not called for protection.
So we learned that.
Yeah, protection is the sun, the roof, the rain, something. Here, you just don't want something to fall into it. You don't want it to
Also protecting the things inside because it's going to keep it pressure.
So it can hold it and move the barrel under it. Like we learned, like if you want to stack the barrel one on top of the other, you should hold it and then move the one under it. And then put it. So can you just somebody hold the material and you
No. You can't do that. Because over here, it's usher, even if you don't create the walls. That heter is when it's only usher. When you create walls and roof, which is generally the halacha when you're not creating it for shade. So it's only usher if you get walls and roof. If you do it in the reverse order, it's okay. But this particular case is usher even just to create roof, even though you're not creating the walls. Because here's the chiddush. Listen carefully, my friends. Chiddush of Taisvos. Because it's a very large keli, So when you create a cover over a very large keli, that's a problem even if you didn't create the
But
walls.
opening is not such a big opening for a barrel.
It means a big barrel.
It doesn't, it's not like
Big barrel.
like,
No,
it
big
can be
barrel.
tall, but
A big barrel. A big barrel. How do I know it has to be a big barrel? There are big barrels, and if you go to factories, you see this. There's huge barrels. How do I know it has to be a big barrel? Very simple. Because when it comes to creating a bed where you're going to sleep on, right? There, you're allowed to do it as long as the walls are there from before. You can't put up the walls and the cover. But if the wall's there from before, it's mutter. So we see that a bed, which is not a small thing, that's not considered, that doesn't go into this gedder. You see what I'm saying? So it's obviously bigger than the size of a bed. How big exactly? I don't know. He brings here, the Chazon Ish didn't know what is the pshat. How big is very big? Yeah. He doesn't know. He stays with the question. He doesn't know exactly the definition of this thing. But he says it has to be bigger than a bed. Because by a bed, we see that this is not a problem. So it's definitely a big kind of barrel. Anyway.
You know what? And what if the material attached to the side of the barrel, just flat against the wall, and now you want to cover it and just lift it up?
It's attached, it's okay. Right, if it's attached, it's okay because that's like the cover of the barrel. The whole thing is if it's not attached and it's not designated for it, so then it looks like an oil. Oh, so here he brings the Dirshu Shulchan Aruch. I think it's also in the Chazon Ish. I don't remember honestly who says it, but here's the svar. He brings a svar for it. When something is very big, so it's only through the roof that we see the connection between the mechitzas. In that sense, it's like you're creating the mechitzas. When something is small, so the mechitzas already are associated with each other because they're close. So you're not creating the mechitzas if they're already in place. You're just making a roof. But when something is very big, so the walls are so far from each other, they're like, I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? Like I can barely see you. Now that you have a roof, it's connecting them. That's what creates them and makes them into mechitzas. It's like a little bit of a lamdasha word.
Because so big, we can consider as a binyan arai or kavua because the size.
I don't think it's about arai or kavua. You know what I'm saying? It is arai. I mean, it's only a beged covering a barrel. How long you can leave it there already? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it is. It's a problem because it's very big. So it's more like an oil. It's not less arai, but it's more of an oil. It's more of a protection.
So according to this, if you have this thermal blanket to cover your pool, you cannot just unroll it. Roll it to close it, to cover it.
That's an interesting shaila. Interesting shaila. If there's more than a tefach above the water.
Probably.
Yeah. Interesting shaila. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because the pool is big.
But we learn if you have a
But
tefach,
this cover made to cover it in the winter.
Okay, so what? What do you mean it's made? It's designated, you mean?
Yeah, it's a special cover.
Yeah, so that could be a smutter. Yeah.
but
That
we
could be a
learn,
smutter.
Rabbi, if you have a tefach,
That could be a smutter. If it's a designated cover, it should be a mutter.
if it's already tefach, it's there.
Because one second, because we learn about that, by the way, in Siman Shin Yud Gimel, which that part we skipped, that you can cover a bar. You have a bar, you have a pit. We didn't learn the beginning, but we said you could cover it with its designated cover. That's not like binyan, because that's just the designated cover. So I'm saying, just like you say that about binyan, you say the same thing about oil.
The oil not supposed something to be above the ground level, like a boil like under. So you're going to cover it with something that's considered emitting oil, because it's.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do with ground level. It has to do with protection or not protection. If you're in a cellar, I mean, you're under the ground level, but if you make an oil, you make an oil.
Actually, bulk, you know, like you want to cover it.
I'm saying the fact that it's under the ground doesn't mean that it can't be an oil.
Anything tefach is like the police said. Anything tefach is cover, so we can do it for any subject.
No.
What's
On the contrary, tefach is a problem. Here it's mutter because it's a designated cover. So we don't see it like an oil. We see it like he's covering it with its designated cover.
anything is tefach? It's already discarded. For cover.
Tefach is a problem, not a solution. If you want a problem, say tefach.
We said no problem, because if you have a tefach, you can cover.
If you have a tefach already, but if you want to create a tefach.
No. You anything you have a tefach already.
If you already have a tefach, then you can add, generally, if it's all right. Okay, let's finish the Machaber. We'll have to do the Alter Rebbe next time. That's only if there is a tefach space between the top of the wine or the water or whatever it is in the barrel. There's a tefach space, so then you're creating a oil over that tefach. I'm not going to say tefach mutter, but it's not. If there's no tefach space, it's allowed. Then because there is no oil here. So the truth is, I do have to. I feel that I have to answer Raphael's question a little bit better. Raphael is asking, why is this not considered for protection? Why is the protection of your wine not considered protection? That's basically a question. Yeah.
Well, who are you talking about?
Raphael is asking.
The last line he was saying that it's not about im in chaser tefach muter.
And kanoil. If the wine level or the water level, if there's a tefach space between this bag, yeah.
So if it's a tefach down and lower, so then you're making a cover.
Exactly.
It's close to the top.
Then it's not a
Top down
tefach.
tefach.
Exactly.
It's not an issue.
Not an issue, because to be defined as a tefach, it has to be covering a tefach of empty space. I'm just realizing that's the answer to your question. Shkoyach. You got it?
Has to be still.
No. The point is, you see that the definition of an oil is not to protect the solid food or the liquid. The definition of oil is to protect the space. You don't care about that space.
So let me ask you, if you put the barrel in a tefach and you put a cover, there's no oil there. And now you take wine out and creating a tefach space over it, you get a problem.
I don't think so. Okay, my friends, my plan was to finish today. That didn't happen, but hopefully we'll finish next week with Hashem's help on Monday. And then, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the class, we're going to do Chazara, but it's possible that we'll have to do a major Chazara because Rabbi Fosner expressed a general possible interest in coming to Florida on Tuesday, January 16th, 2 weeks from tonight.
2 weeks from today?
The night that we're on
Maybe. No, that's February. That's February. It's February 5th. So there's no confirmation. Rabbi Vosner might be here in 2 weeks from tonight.
So can we do like Chazar from next week, Monday until then?
Definitely.
Or
Everything. If he's coming, we're doing everything we can do. If he's not coming, we'll just do Chazara on
when will we know?
On Shin Yud Gimel Yud Dalet as well. I'll try to get an answer from him. He wants to know where he would stay, and I already texted somebody. So if I find a
Staying
place,
in this community?
maybe.
We stayed last time.
Maybe. He liked it there.
Students.
Yeah, he liked it there. So anyway, we'll see.
So wait,
Can you tell us within like a day or two? Because it's a lot of pressure.
As soon as I know.
I have to.
As soon as I know.
Look at that.
Will that be the test? Yes, that will be the test. Will it be the final test for Shabbos? No, because this is when we didn't finish even the first year. But it'll be an in-person test for those of the Chabur that are here. And it's nice to have it in person. But no, we will also have to be tested on whatever we're learning after this as well. I don't know if we'll do it Pesach time or later, probably later. But let's make those plans after we see what the decision is.
The 16th is the Monday or
Tuesday. Are you offering? You wanna
do I want to what?
host?